The year is 1984. Deep inside the windowless barracks of Fort Meade, Maryland, the United States Army is doing the impossible. They aren't training soldiers to shoot rifles. They're training them to leave their bodies. This was the birth of the remote viewer. Men paid by your tax dollars to sit in a dark room, enter a trance, and travel across time and space. On May 22nd, a handler handed a sealed envelope to a man known only as Viewer 001. No names, no context. Inside that envelope was a single card with a set of geographic coordinates. The handler didn't say it was Mars. He didn't say it was 1,000,000 years in the past. He just said, focus. What happened next wasn't supposed to be possible. It wasn't supposed to be real. But the CIA spent 20 years and $20 million making sure nobody else could do it. Today the files are open, the grit is off the lens, and what Viewer 001 saw changes everything we know about our neighbor in the stars. To understand the Mars report, you have to understand the gateway process. This wasn't some New Age meditation. This was a cold, calculated military protocol. The CIA worked with the Monroe Institute to develop a sound-based frequency called hemisync. The goal? To synchronize the hemispheres of the brain until the human consciousness became a laser, sharp enough to cut through the fabric of three-dimensional reality. The Soviets were already ahead. They were experimenting with psychotronics. The Pentagon was terrified that a Russian psychic could look into our nuclear silos or read the president's mind from across the ocean. So they created Stargate. They found that once a viewer reached the gateway state, the physical body became a shell. The mind became a traveler. They could go to a submarine at the bottom of the Atlantic or a bunker in Siberia. But on this day in May, they decided to go much further. They sent Viewer 001 to a coordinate that didn't exist on any Earth map. 40.89 degrees north, 9.55 degrees west. The Cydonia region of Mars. The Viewer 001, Joe McMonagle, described a planet in the middle of a cataclysm. He spoke of huge pyramid-like structures and megalithic walls. But it was the inhabitants that chilled the handlers to the bone. McMonagle didn't see little green men. He saw giants, very tall people, thin, wearing strange, shimmering silk-like clothing. He described them as a dying people. He watched them huddling inside these massive pyramids, trying to survive a planetary disaster they couldn't stop. He said they were waiting for someone to come back for them, waiting for a way out. When the handler asked where they went, McMonagle described a craft, a massive metallic vessel carrying the last of a civilization into the dark. Was he seeing the ancestors of humanity? Or was he seeing the fate that eventually awaits us all? The CIA transcript doesn't offer opinions, it only records the data, and the data says, we are not the first. In 1995, the CIA officially shut down Project Stargate. They told the public it was a failure. They said the data was unreliable, but ask yourself, if it was a failure, why did they keep it running for 20 years? Why are the most sensitive parts of the gateway process still redacted in 2026? The truth is rarely found in a press release. It's found in the shadows, under the grit of the official narrative. Maybe they stopped because they found what they were looking for. Maybe viewer 001 didn't just see the past. Maybe he saw a mirror. Whatever the case, the coordinates are still there, the pyramids are still there, and somewhere in the archives of Fort Meade, the tapes are still spinning. I'm Tim, this is Grit Cinema. We don't just watch the files, we open them.